dun 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 dun. Why is this flashing? Okay, no, it's not.
I'm back.
Darren.
Darian kicked me out so that she could piss.
Oh gosh. Wait, guys, is it music time? Where's
It
our
is
epic music time?
I'm going to switch us over to the Discord call so chat can see y'all before we get started. Beautiful. You guys can see everything.
All right. Let me EP. Do. Darian. Let's see. What's some good D&D music? Dungos and DGs.
Dungos and DGs.
D&D music.
The Bee Gees.
Traveling. Ooh, we'll start off with traveling. Because
Yeah,
that's
that
what you
sounds
guys
good.
are doing.
Or hear me out, old school RuneScape music.
Bot commands. Dash
Sorry about
P.
that. I was just kind of getting my heating pad for my feet so I don't get super cold.
Me feet.
Me feet.
Let's see. How does everything look?
Staff Sergeant Naramore is asking me about the Marines.
Ooh, you should join.
Should I tell him that I'm severely depressed?
Tell him that. Tell him all the best things. Oh.
I usually just tell them that I'm trans and they don't want me and then they leave me alone.
Tell him that you're on land and he can't do a damn thing about it.
He can't get to me.
I might let you do that later, Jake, because I don't have the strength.
Say you would.
Darian doesn't have the power.
I'm
No,
on land.
expectations.
You're a bastard. You have no jurisdiction over me.
Say you would, but if you touch water, you'll turn back into a mermaid, and we can't have that. Ooh, I am so pumped.
Yeah?
Very excited.
All right. So before we start today, allow me to read to you guys the social contract written and held within the brand new Dungeons and Dragons book, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Are you ready? Because I have to find it first, so hold on. Where
We
is
had
it?
it last night, so it couldn't have gone far.
It ran away, Darian. No, it's on page 139. All right.
Hey, Jake, you gotta keep the door open so she can pee if she needs to.
We can't all just piss whenever we want.
Again.
Suspicious. Okay. The social contract. So let me tell you guys about me as a DM. I will respect the players by running a game that is fun, fair, and tailored for them. I will allow every player to contribute to the ongoing story and give every character moments to shine. When a player is talking, I will listen. And then for you guys, the players will respect you and effort it takes to create a fun game for everyone. The players will allow you to direct the campaign, arbitrate the rules, and settle arguments. When you are talking, the players are listening. The players will respect one another as well, listening to one another, supporting one another, and doing their utmost to preserve the cohesion of the adventuring party. If you guys try and kill each other, there are 15 gods who could smite you. Should I or a player disrespect each other or violate the social contract in some other way, the group may dismiss that person from the table. Does everyone agree? We will be respectful.
Yes.
I assume this doesn't count for like teasing, like as
Darian,
good fun.
I'm always in character. If you tease me, I will take it seriously.
Well, that's an important distinction to make, so that's why I ask.
Yeah, whatever. You just want to bully me. I know, I get it.
I'm such a big bully.
Darian's the largest bully I've ever met. No respect. Okay. So to start off our campaign in Theros, I'm going to be running the adventure printed within Mythic Odysseys of Theros called No Silent Secret. We will be playing through it. I have studied it a little bit, and by a little bit I mean I read the whole thing. So
Oh.
hopefully I'm able to keep it going. What the hell is up with your camera? Why is it flipped? Jacob, please calm down in chat, okay? Let's see. I guess I do have my camera flipped, but I can't change it on Discord. Because I would have to change it. I would have to change everything on screen, and then everything would be backwards. All right, let's see.
Could watch in the mirror.
Yeah, Jacob, put a mirror. Let's see. So the purpose of this story is gonna be mostly to get you guys introduced to each other, to the world of Theros itself, and some of the stuff going on in the world. It will feel a little railroaded for you guys, as in, there's an adventure here, and I hope you guys follow it. And so, if you spend too much time going off and you decide you don't want to do the story, I can always, we can always postpone tonight and I can prepare something else. But hopefully your sense of adventure and your ties to the gods and the world of Theros will help you be intrigued by whatever may occur. Hopefully we can get it all done tonight. It shouldn't be the longest thing, as long as we keep everything going. But yeah, last thing I need to do is actually grab dice, which are on my floor.
Do you need dice for D&D?
No, you can just random number generator, just pull out your favorite Java script for it.
New random.nextcent. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Just get and then what is it, plus 20 or whatnot? Or is it I haven't done random integers in so long. Who am I? Do you multiply it by 20?
No. You mod it by 20.
Yeah, modulus 20. Yeah. And then you would add 1.
Add 1.
Because you don't want it to start at 0.
Right?
Alright, let me spill out all my beans. Oh
Riley,
no.
your beans.
My beans! Aw, beans.
Yo, drop a exclamation mark beans for Darian in chat.
Guys,
No, we can't. We can't do it.
add more beans to Darian's surplus.
No, she has 69 beans. Don't do it.
Uh-oh.
She has too many already. She's too powerful.
No.
70 beans? Wait, how do I spend beans?
She's at 7.
How do I expend beans?
We haven't gotten that figured out yet.
I'll do that tomorrow. I'll have some time tomorrow to do it.
Decrement value.
Yeah. Gamble beans.
That's Darian's D&D name as a cat. Gamble beans.
It's my familiar.
Hello, is me. Gamble beans. Let's see. Where's the rest of my dice? Guys, should I use my super dice so I can make sure I crit on every attack?
No, let us crit. You crit fail.
There's stuff in this adventure we're playing that has like, if the players are having a tough time, do this. So we might do some of those.
You should take notes on that. They're having a tough time. Give them nat 20s.
If the adventure's
You
having a
guys
hard
do
time,
fine, and
kill
you know
them.
what I do behind the screen.
Just end them.
I guess I don't have the screen, but
You guys don't know how many rolls I fub.
I'm sorry, did you just censor like fudge?
I said fub.
Yeah, is that like a
Fub.
censor of fudge?
Fub.
Fub. Okay.
I fubbed the roll. Alright, now we put all the dice away. Wait, guys, I need my DM screen in front of me. Hold on. Oh, wait. I have a computer.
sometimes I call a shot and plan one way, and you guys go the other way, and that's just how things go. I'm not gonna limit you.
Yeah. For this first session, it's gonna be a railroaded story, somewhat, to help you guys, you know, not have to worry about too much. and still get to know each other. But then after this first session, the world will open up to all of you guys to do things.
I see.
But for
And the
today,
illusion-
we're playing an adventure. Because, you know, some days in D&D, you're not having an adventure. Maybe some days you're just walking around town, starting clubs.
Is that not an adventure? I think that's an
No,
What's
that
up,
sounds like a
guys?
good
Welcome
time.
to our 4-hour shopping session. This adventure will be very exciting. It's called Let's Go to the Mall. Alright. So everyone in the party remembers how this campaign is starting, how I've told it to you guys. All of you, for whatever reasons you may have been traveling towards the polis of Meletis, I learned. You guys want to see something? Apparently,
Yeah.
I was looking at all the names for Theros, and there's actually a quiz I found online by Wizards of the Coast on how to pronounce things. Let's see. It's the Theros pronunciation quiz, I think. Yeah, Theron pronunciation quiz. And I took this last night. Let's see if I can share it on my my screen. But it's basically just like, oh, here's how you pronounce all the different like major the 3 major cities in Theros, which are the Polis, I suppose. Let's see. So on here it has like, how do you pronounce Melitis? And it's like Mehl MEHL dash EE dash TIS. Melitis, right? Melitis?
I feel like that's wrong.
What do you think it is? Because I always been like malicious or Melitis. But it's not Meletis. It's not Meletis. It's not Meletis. It's Melitis. Melitis.
Meletis.
Meletis.
Is
Meletis.
the Greek pronunciation. It means
Akros.
study in English.
Yeah, but the 3 major polises or pole in Theros, which are like the major 3 human cities, are Akros, Meletis, and Setessa. And ours takes place as all 4 of you are heading towards, or maybe just roaming around, Meletis. Now let's take a look. On starting the adventure, is everybody ready to begin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Jake says.
Jake says what?
Jake says what? What?
Jake says.
Ye?
Yote?
You just didn't hit your space bar, so we didn't hear anything.
Oh,
Oh, are you hearing me now? Am I
Yeah.
good? I just missed it once.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Allow me to read to you all the start of the adventure. So as you are in a group of travelers, you find yourself traveling towards the polis of Meletis. Oh my gosh. I literally am just going to hold the pronunciation on screen right now. Meletis. All right. The sun sinks low in the west, stretching shadows across the well-traveled road only a mile or so from the polis's edge. At your current rate, you, along with a loose crowd of other travelers, should reach the polis outskirts just before dark. Not everyone's moving at a leisurely pace, though. Behind you, a horse rounds a bend in the road, galloping at top speed. The beast looks frantic, terrified, and frothing with exertion. Upon it sways a figure wearing a gold mask. The rider barely manages to stay in the saddle, his body bristling with cruel black arrows. Blind with panic, the horse plows on, threatening to trample travelers in its path. Before it can, though, the beast's legs give way. Both mount and rider topple, crashing into the dust with a piercing whinny and a sound like snapping branches. At this time, the road is now open to the adventurers.
I run over.
Okay. would you like to, as you start running over, describe your character to everyone?
So I am a 4'10" Triton woman. I look a little young, but that's not necessarily very out of place, since a lot of Triton people go out in search for knowledge and just kind of stuff that they can bring back to their village and whatnot. Kind of a muted blue with bright blue-green eyes, kind of like the color of bioluminescent creatures. And I'm wearing simple but nice robes given to me by my village elders before I left. And my hair is essentially a shimmery white dorsal fin that lays flat like a betta fish.
Like a beta fish. Are you saying you're a beta? Come on.
Is it a betta fish?
No, we're good. All right. So everyone sees as this Triton, is wading their way through this group of travelers that include yourselves and some other people who are not actual players here, right? Just general travelers on the same road as you. As they all look on, let's see, Darian, your character's name is Marin?
Marin Novanath.
Marin Novanath. Marin, you run straight towards where the crash has just occurred, and in front of you, you see the horse and the body of a dark figure who is wearing a gold mask laying upon the ground. Would anyone else like to do anything as this is occurring?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I can't really see over most people. I'm shorter than most. Being a satyr, even though my horns usually peek over the tops of crowds, my eyes are a little bit further down. I try to shuffle out to the outside of the crowd to observe what's going on, and upon seeing someone felled, I start trying to usher common folk away from the scene. Kind of taking charge of the civilians, making sure that they're not going to be involved with anything that might happen.
Would you like to describe your character a little bit to everyone as you're doing so?
Dressed in pretty simple chainmail armor. I have a large sword across my back. And the decorations of the colors and emblems of Afara, which is the goddess of community and the polis. The
polis of Meletis.
Yes. And feel comfortable around this area, and kind of just trying to keep people calm.
All right.
Keep them moving forward.
So you all see as the Triton runs forward, there is a guard who seems to be from Meletis themselves, is now kind of getting everyone back away from the body that has just fell to the ground off of this horse. All right. Who's next? Anyone else would like to react to this situation?
Yeah. I say, what the hell? And then and I kind of go over to see what just happened. I noticed. I'm sorry, Darian. What was the name of the character you're playing?
You notice a Triton.
A Triton. Okay, I noticed a Triton off to my side, and I am not very much of a people person, so I keep my distance. I'm more interested in what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah. So I walk over there, and I am a 7-foot centaur. So unlike some other people, I don't have many issues seeing over most people there. I have long blonde hair with seafoam green tips, and my eyes the matching color of seafoam green. and I am dressed in regular clothes. I have instruments with me, a set of bagpipes and a dulcimer. I usually keep to myself most of the time, and I am kind of quiet, I guess.
All right. So everyone else sees there's this large centaur who goes, "What the hell?" and is kind of watching the scene intently from, a little farther back, but still close enough to see what's happening. And May Ruth.
Yep, that would leave me. So we're traveling in a big group. Are there any like carts or wagons or anything?
There might be one, maybe close by.
Okay. If there's one close by, then I'll kind of hop up on top of it to get a view. I saw that uh, this guy had like some arrows and stuff sticking out of his back, so I'm kind of concerned about that. I'm gonna pull out my bow and try to like be looking to see maybe what he ran from.
All right, and would you like to describe what people see as you climb on top of this cart?
Absolutely. 1 second. I had what I was gonna say written in a notes document, but I use space for push to text, and it's gonna yeet itself away.
Can you control Z it back, or? Should I pull up a picture of Mayruth? Everyone can look at it. Hold on. Pictures. Theros a lot. Okay, let me see if I can
I'm dumb. Okay, here we go. So I'm a kind of 5'2" human girl with pale skin, green eyes, and short orange hair and a messy bun. I'm wearing this long green cloak over this kind of patchwork combination of leather armor and animal pelts. And I'm carrying a well-worn short sword and a similar longbow and a quiver of ammunition on my back.
All right. Thank you, Jake. And let's see. So as all this commotion is happening, Marin, you're running towards the scene currently. Are you going
Yes.
to rush towards the horse or the fallen rider?
The fallen rider.
All right. As you begin to approach the rider, and you notice they're kind of like grayed skin and kind of all the clothes they're wearing, right, are just these darker neutral colors. Upon approaching them, you can see that, you can see their gray skin, and then there's deep wounds in their back with just blood pooling out. Upon the most basic of observations, what you can tell is that this person has already passed on. On their face, you can see there's clearly what you would recognize as a funerary mask, which is when someone passes away in the world of Theros, they're usually given a mask made of a some sort of metal or clay or stone placed over their face in order to help them keep what memories they may have had in the material world as they move on to death. Let's see. Would you like to make a intelligence check as you're investigating this person up close?
Good. Going to. Sorry, I'm just finding my stuff. Okay.
You're good.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll get out my real dice.
Real dice, yeah! That's what I'm using.
That was a d12. Okay, that's a 5.
And what's your intelligence modifier?
0.
0, okay. So as you're looking at this figure, it just seems to, be just the observations you've noticed thus far.
Okay. going to call out to people and kind of yell, he's dead.
Yep.
And maybe move my attention to the horse.
When
Okay.
I hear that, I start walking over to her timidly, and I just kind of, I say, "You sure? You sure they're dead?"
Pretty sure.
Liz, as
I
you are
mean-
moving closer towards the body, would you also like to make an intelligence check?
Yeah, sure. So we will make intelligence. I can't find intelligence on my sheet. Oh,
It
it's,
should be at the very top.
yeah, it's just a normal intelligence check. Did it go? No.
Once you have it rolled,
Uh,
just tell me the number.
10.
10? All right,
Yep.
that succeeds. From your
Woo!
previous history in the world and your knowledge of Theros, you would recognize this person as not actually someone who was currently alive. However, you recognize this person as a individual of one of the returned, someone who has died and came back from the underworld.
I see this and I go, the fuck, this is a returned, and I relay the information about what a returned is to the Triton next to me.
Upon hearing that discussion, I'm sure some of the more common folk are getting a little frightened, so I'm going to be like, don't worry, I'll be taking care of this, you guys just keep going, and I'll get out my sword and start scouting the area. I would like to use a divine sense.
Divine sense? Okay, go ahead.
All right. This is going to sense out to 60 feet from me if there are any celestial fiends or undead.
Yes. So, as you do this, you start to sense the presence of undead traveling down the road the same way that this fallen rider came with. They're pretty much right on the edge of your sense and quickly moving towards you.
Okay, upon hearing that, I'm gonna say 2 arms and start looking around to see who else looks in fighting shape.
Yeah. So with you, you also were kind of patrolling with a group of guards. So there's 2 other guards with you at the moment. And so they also, draw their swords as they see your eyes glowing and you've noticed something. And everyone else now also starts to see and hear the sound of hooves clopping down the road that you've all been traveling upon. And allow me to read. The sound of racing hooves rises like rolling thunder from the direction of the fallen rider emerged. 2 more riders round the bend, both wearing dark tunics. The fading light glints upon the snarling gold masks both wear. Alright. So now, riding up towards all of you, they start to slow down and kind of turn off their horses and hop off of them as their horses start to take off back down the road. Seeing all the people watching the scene unfold in front of them, one of the dark riders who just stepped off looks over and kind of hisses at the crowd, and also to everyone really close to the body, says, "Get away from the heretic, bleeder." As this happens, both of these creatures start to pull out. One pulls out a longbow, and the other one pulls out a spear as they start charging towards people and knocking an arrow. As this happens, everyone...
I'm sorry. What did you say the other one had? It sounded like beer to me.
A short sword and a spear.
Oh, spear. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And they are now charging into the crowd of travelers on the road. As this is happening, feel free to roll initiative.
Ooh.
I
Do you have
will
an
do
initiative
that.
checker on your you can open one up in Roll20.
I can.
Yeah.
We won't be using a battle map for this. This will be more of a theater of the mind battle
Okay.
as well, just so everyone knows. Let me see if I can play something real quick. Battle music. Okay. Let's see, there's Mara. Wait, not Mara. Wait, Marin. Marin! May,
I got 11.
Bard, Orthea.
6.
Hold on. Orthea, you said 6?
Yep.
Darian?
Oh, yeah, 6.
Marin?
Got 11.
11. May?
16.
16. And Bard?
8.
8. Okay. And let's see, these returned sentries. Rolled that. Let me just get this down real quick. Da, 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 da. Let me pull up their stat block real quick. Leave a bookmark there. Alright. And I think we're ready to go. At the top, as these two, cloaked figures start to charge, one with a spear and the other knocking their short bow from where they have dismounted their rides. Up first is May.
Nice. Okay, I've got my bow out, so I'm going to knock an arrow, and I'm going to shoot at the one with the short bow.
Alright, go ahead and roll for the attack.
Okay. I rolled a 12 plus 6 is 18 to hit.
Alright, that will hit. Go ahead and
Okay.
roll damage.
I will mark this person as my favored foe to do a little extra damage to him.
Okay.
So I'm now concentrating on that.
Sounds good.
That's a 2 and another 2. Plus 4 is 8 points of damage.
Alright, 8 damage. As this arrow kind of slams into the shoulder of the short bow wielder. They look like it kind of pushed them backwards, but they didn't really feel it at all. That's not
Alright,
to say that they resisted it.
I'm going to just stay on top of the little vantage point I have
Okay.
for now, and that'll be my turn.
Alright, up next is Marin. The one with the spear is now charging towards you, trying to make you go away from it. And as he's charging at you, you hear him say or you hear the one with the short bow who've just been shot go, "Ah, let no witnesses escape."
Okay. How far are they from me?
Probably around 15 feet.
Okay. I'm going to use Sacred Flame.
Alright. Does that mean I
On
need to
the
make a
one with the
dexterity
spear.
saving throw for it?
Yes.
Alright. That is an 8.
That does not pass. So I'm gonna roll a d8.
And this was the one with the
7.
spear?
Yeah.
Okay, 7.
7 radiant damage.
Nice. He takes the blow and kind of looks to be crippled as they seem like a little weakened as they're running towards you with their spear. They go, "Nyah!" They do not like it. Alright, is there anything else?
I was gonna kind of equip my Warhammer, make sure I'm holding that.
Yeah, sounds good.
And then I think I will be okay.
I think I'll be alright. Alright, at the end of Marin's turn, it is now Bard. as you see these, hooded figures charging towards everyone.
Yucky boys.
I look at them and I cast Vicious Mockery.
All right, which one?
The
spear
one
or short
closest
bow?
to the crowd.
Okay, the one with the spear.
Yeah. I say to them, hey, you're ugly, your voice is ugly, and you should feel bad.
All right. Do I make a save against it?
Yeah, it is a wisdom save and throw.
All right, that is a 10.
That does not pass.
All right, so roll damage, and then the spear user now has disadvantage on their next attack they make.
2 psychic damage.
All right. That's that. Up next, is there anything else you'd like to do? Any bonus actions? Any movement?
I want to inspire the person who's closest to the spear.
Okay, so that would be Marin at the moment.
I'm going to inspire Marin.
All right, Marin, you now have a is it an inspiration dice? That's what it's called, right?
Yep, inspiration die, a 1d6.
All right. And that's it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, up next,
Make a note of
Orthea.
that.
All right. Seeing the two returned being aggressive and attacking people.
Mhm.
I'm gonna rush forward in between the spear holder and the Baron and say, "Your opponent is me!" And I'm gonna swing up with my greatsword.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack.
I rolled a 9 to attack.
And that's plus your bonuses?
Yep.
Okay. A 9 just misses. They're able to easily maneuver out of the way of your attack as you charge towards them with your greatsword. But you're now you're between Marin and
Yeah.
the sentry? Okay. Sounds good. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that is my turn.
All right, up next, the returned sentries will take their turns. First, the shortbow user, who was just shot in the arm, is going to shoot back.
Shit.
What were you gonna say?
I just said hot because they got shot, and then
Oh.
shooting back. I didn't like that.
Okay. So the returned sentry with the short bow, they rolled a 14 to hit May.
My AC is 15.
All right, so the arrow, which is you see whizzing right past you, a cruel black arrow, just like the ones lining the back of the fallen returned on the ground, whizzes just straight past you, barely missing. Seeing that they've missed, they start to knock another arrow. As this happens, the one with the spear is going to charge right into Orthea and make an attack. So let's see what that is. That is a 14 plus 5, 19 to hit.
That will hit me.
All right. All right, so that'll be a 1d8 plus 2d6 poison damage. That is 4 piercing. Or no, that's 7 piercing. And 5 poison damage.
So 14 in total?
Yes.
No. 11 or 12 in total.
Oh,
7 plus
okay.
5 is 14.
Yeah.
I am down.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
So as they charge straight into you, this dark spear they're holding just plunges into you and pours out this necrotic poison as it pierces. As he does that, he starts to laugh, and as you fall to the ground, he stares back at Marin, ready to strike again. Up next, that will be the end of their turns. So, May, you are up.
Well, I'm gonna shoot at the bastard that shot at me.
Yeah, sniper battle.
That's a natural 17. That's probably gonna hit.
Yep, that hits. Roll damage.
All right. D8 and a D4. That's 9 plus 4 is 13 points of piercing damage.
All right. Say 13.
13.
Ooh. As this strikes him, this time his entire like chunk of his arm comes off, still just hanging on, able to continue knocking the arrow as they're looking very, very weakened by that hit. Are there anything else you would like to do after shooting?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop down and try to get kind of behind this cart so
Okay.
that I'm not just standing out in the open getting shot at.
Sounds good.
That'd be nice.
Up next, then, is going to be Marin. Right in front of you, you've seen the satyr guard run straight in front of you and try and attack at the sentry, but instead has been knocked down to the ground by their dark spear.
Yeah. So I'm going to
Yeah.
use Healing Word as a bonus action. And give that to Orthea. Yeah.
Orathia.
Orathia.
Sorry.
Orathia.
Orthea. I'm gonna make a note of that in a second. 1d4. So 6. And as my action, I'm going to. Are they within 5 feet of me?
It would be within 10 feet since Orthea ran in between you two.
Okay. I am going to. Can I double hand my warhammer?
Yeah, you can two-hand the warhammer, I believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Is that possible?
It says so. Yeah, it's
okay.
like
If it says
it
so.
says it.
Yeah.
It's on the damage thing, so.
So then you'll deal a d10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
she can
going
do it.
to try to hit them with my warhammer.
All right, go ahead.
Is it /R? Yeah.
Yep.
I should
Darren,
just roll
don't you have dice in real life? Come on.
Yeah, but I want to. Oh, I crit.
Crit.
Ooh.
All right, you will roll 2d10 in that case.
16.
16. So you heal the guard in front of you on the ground, right? And then you grab your warhammer with both hands, and as you swing upwards into this thing's face, you just send its entire head flying off of its body as everything else crumbles to the ground and kind of pools into this dark kind of just mass.
Gross.
Well, they're wearing dark cloaks over them, so it's just kind of they're just kind of falling down. Oops. Have you fallen over and can't get up? All right, anything else you'd like to do? Are you surprised by
both
your feat
my-
of strength?
I am.
Ooh.
I'm gonna kind of be like, I'm gonna just kind of stay here. Maybe I'll move in front of Orathia
Okay.
and from like shield her, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And Orathia, you are now conscious once again, correct?
Yep.
All right. So up next will be Bard. Bard, you see
Right.
the head of one of these fallen sentries go flying, along with their golden mask they had on as well, while the rest of their body just falls to the ground.
I turn to the one with the short bow and I say, "You stupid person! Jesus, your friend got one-shotted to death,
Did you just use
fuck
the
you.
term Jesus in the Greek world of Theros?
You know,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what happens when you're a little mad. You get some weird names.
yeah, you start
Anyways,
pulling other religions.
you know, you can't help it. And I cast Vicious Mockery at them.
All right, I will make a wisdom saving throw.
Maybe Jesus is just like
That
a
is a
celebrity.
3, which will not
That is
pass.
not bad.
It doesn't
Wait.
matter how much damage you do. How would you like to finish off your foe here?
I spit at them and they can't even survive anymore.
You're spitting hot fire, and suddenly they drop the short bow and go to like grasp their head as they kind of just fall to the ground, unmoving. As this happens,
God, I hate plebs.
combat is now over. Great work, everyone. The other two guards, seeing that their companion has fallen to the ground, kind of rush towards you, Orthea. And now there are 3 corpses of returned bodies laying upon the ground. Allow me to
Because
cue up some adventuring music now, since we're out of combat.
Adventure.
Because I was able to realize that the first guy was one of the returned ones,
Oh
I
my
want to
gosh.
go take a look at the others because I noticed the other ones had some masks that fell off too.
Mhm.
So I want to go investigate.
All right. So, Bard, you're gonna go investigate one of the masks of the combatants you just fought.
Not necessarily just the mask.
Oh,
I
but
just want
investigate
to
them.
Yeah,
Okay.
just do an investigation check.
So as you go over to them, you can find easily what they have on their person. Are you going over to the short bow user or maybe the spear user?
Spear user.
Okay. So from the spear user, you do find that darkened spear they were using, which seems not as like necrotic as it was being wielded by the returned as they were attacking earlier. On them, you don't find their head because it has been launched a little distance, but you can easily just go grab it. But on their face, they wear a gold funerary mask, and then just the spear itself is about all they had on them. That and their dark tunics they were wearing.
Would I happen to know what the gold medal would mean? Or if differences in medals would mean anything in particular?
For the most part, the difference in metals when a returned is buried doesn't really make a difference for the most part. It's usually made of maybe like clay, silver, or gold. And for the most part, you wouldn't know that it would really make any difference other than maybe gold, it's more expensive a metal. So maybe these people were from a more wealthy or were given more, prestigious masks when they were passed on.
So, what about any sort of religious tokens? Did I see anything on them about that?
So as you're searching them more, you do find one more thing. You do find a pouch containing 20 silver pieces and a broken piece of pottery. On that piece of pottery, you can go ahead and roll an Arcana or Religion check on it. As you're looking at it, you kind of start to recognize some of the symbols engraved upon it. As an oracle, you can also, in the world of Nyx, which you're seeing through, you can kind of sense a some sort of presence, I could say, coming from it.
I think I want to look into that the sense that I'm getting from it.
Mm-hmm.
So would that still be a religion or
It's
Arcana
it's
check?
Arcana or a Religion. Yep.
Okay. Four.
4? Yeah, so as you've dug through all this stuff, and now you're looking at this little piece of pottery shard that was inside this pouch, you're kind of just feeling over it and kind of trying to discern what it might be, but overall you can't tell anything about it. It just seems to be any ordinary piece of pottery you're holding.
Notice what she's doing.
Huh?
Do I see her kind of looking and kind of struggling with this piece of pottery?
Yeah. You see there's a centaur now currently kind of holding this piece of pottery in their hands, kind of rummaging through whatever this returned had on them.
What's that?
Pottery, I think. Do you want to look at it or something?
Yeah, sure, why not? If they had this, then it has to be important, yeah?
Yeah, I was wondering why they called the other guy a heretic. You might know something about this?
Yeah, I will look at that. Sorry, 1 second. My sister just tried to call me.
Also, Riley, you said 26 silver pieces I found?
20 silver pieces are
Nice.
inside that pouch on that body. While
So-
Darian's working on that, Orthea and May,
Yeah.
are there anything you guys would like to do? Orthea, you're
So
kind of being
right
helped up
after
off the
getting
ground.
stabbed in the side and flooded with poison, I wake up again and I help myself up, saying, "Stay away! Stay away! Where's the enemy?" And after getting my, bounds, I see that the enemy has fallen, and now there is a centaur and Triton just kind of like holding hands and looking at each other.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Also, it looks like Darian just dropped out of the call, so I'll let you guys know when she's back.
So I use a couple points of my healing reserve to fix up my wounds.
Using lay on hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
And talk to my two comrades next to me.
Yeah,
Were
as
any
you're
of the
going,
townspeople hurt?
as you're going to lay your hands on yourself, one of the other ones, another paladin you would recognize, comes over and goes, "No, hold on, let me help."
Okay.
And they use 5 lay on hand points for you. And the other one goes, "Yes, no one was hurt. Everyone's fine. Don't worry. Are you okay yourself? You took a nasty stab in the side there."
I'll be fine. It's more of a wound to my ego than anything.
The other two kind of laugh off at that. And then they kind of go, "Well, if you're all right, we'll go help the other travelers."
Yeah, make sure that they reach the Miletus. Okay, I'll see around cleaning this up.
Yeah, the other guards kind of head off, and some of the other travelers who look frightened, they trying to calm them down. The wagon Jake is currently behind starts kind of moving forward some more, kind of as like the horses pulling it along were a little freaked out for a bit there, but now they're kind of like trying to calm them down, get them walking.
I was gonna say, while they were doing that, I would probably have just kind of walked up, and after Orathia's conversation was over, I would have been like, "Hi, my name's May. Nice to meet you. Are you okay? And also, do you know what the fuck is going on?"
I walk over at the same time and just kind of join in on the conversation. I don't say anything. I just walk over and stand there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm fine. And looks like things have calmed down. I look back over my shoulder and see the twice my height centaur kind of looming over me. Oh, hello.
You good there, bud?
The super tall centaur up here, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Hey."
Everyone else is super tiny.
You
Yeah.
seem to have kind of
We
taken a hit.
I'm I am okay. I am fine. What is that you have there?
Oh, some pottery we found on one of them. The Triton's looking it over to see if they notice anything.
Okay. Typically returns don't really carry anything besides what they were buried with, I believe.
That is correct. Most are buried with whatever, or most returned. It is known as a myth, right? And also kind of sometimes turned out true, like in instances like these, where a returned is usually buried with their wealth and also those masks and anything else. And usually when they're seen later, they're wearing some of those things that were given to them in death.
Would they have been buried with the weapons?
You can't really tell. These weapons that they have with them don't seem of kind of the earthly origins you're used to knowing.
If a god is behind this, perhaps it leaves their insignia. I know my way around the Pantheon. I could probably take a look.
Well, you'd have to go talk to that Triton.
The one who's T-posing over there?
She's like, ooh. If
Like
you want, you can
the
also take a
pottery's
look.
just Okay.
One thing I noticed when they came in and attacked us was one of them called the dead guy a heretic.
That is a 21 on religion.
Yep. So you recognize this small pottery shard that Marin is holding as an ostraka, a shard from a clay funerary mask, which is typically used as currency in the underworld. Looking a bit
Sorry about
closer at it. No, you're good. Are you good, Darian?
Yeah, I'm good now.
All right.
Could you guys kind of fill
Yeah,
me in real
I'll
quick?
fill you in. So basically what just happened is Orthea has gotten up off the ground. The guards have kind of started leading some of the travelers away, while Orthea stays with you three, who are currently here. May has introduced himself to you all, and currently Orthea is taking a look at the little clay pottery piece that you have in your hand right now. They identified it as an ostraka, a shard from a clay funerary mask, which is used as currency in the underworld. Also, inscribed upon it, looking very close at it now, Marin, you're able to make out something written in common upon the little clay shard you have in your hand. It reads, "Silence the heretic Varius. His secrets must remain dead."
I read that out loud
All
as I
right.
kind of like travel along the words with my fingers so that I can kind of show to everyone around me where it is.
All right. So the four of you are kind of huddled up now over the body of the spear wielder at the moment.
I'm gonna start yanking arrows out of the other one if I can, and just
The
inspecting
one
their
you
weapons.
shot?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your
Sound-
way over to the returned who had the short bow. On them, all they have is the dark tunic and the short bow, and also their gold funerary mask.
Went through, or Bard went through the body of the one that was shot and the spear, right? Both of them.
Just
Bard-
the one with the spear.
Right.
Okay.
The only person whose body you haven't investigated is now the first returned who showed up and fell off the horse. Because you just kind of like gave them a good look over before, anyone started charging at you guys on the horses.
Right. Okay. Well, then I might take a minute to go look at them.
Oh, do you also want to... There's also the horse currently kind of whinnying like on the ground, looking very hurt.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely go over there
Okay.
and kind of try to soothe it.
If you wanna look over that body, Triton, I can look at this horse and possibly heal what I can.
Name's married, but sure, yeah, I can. I think it might be beneficial for us to see what he has.
Okay. So, Bard, as you approach the horse lying on the ground, feel free to make an animal handling or medicine check.
Oh, gee.
Would I know if there's any reason for the dead in the Nyx to have like bands or cults that they stick together in?
What goes on in the underworld is mainly unknown currently to many people. There have been some outbreaks of the returned here and there that have been mostly quashed every time, but no one can really tell exactly what their reasons for coming back are, other than escaping from Erebos and Athreos' gazes somehow.
Okay.
I got 20.
20? So this horse on the ground, you can tell that the animal is currently just exhausted and suffering from a multitude of minor abrasions. They seem very parched as well. Like they need water or something. As they're kind of their heaving is very dry.
I shout to the back. I was like, "Hey, anyone got any water? This horse needs water now."
Don't we all have water skins?
Everyone should have water on them. Yes.
I look a bit embarrassed. And give them
Who's got
some of my
water? Well, maybe you don't have water on you and you just want someone else.
And then at the same time, can I try to tend to their wounds?
Yes. Feel free to make a medicine check, or you could try a healing spell if you know any.
I'm just going to do a medicine check. That's
Well,
a
actually, you already
D20
rolled a
plus
20. Did you roll a 20 for animal handling or medicine?
I did one for animal handling.
Okay, you can just do a quick medicine one.
Medicine?
Yep.
D20.
Are these masks that these things are wearing? I know you said one of them was gold. Is it taboo to take these things, like kind of stealing from the dead, or is it different because they've come back to life?
It is very different because these masks are not the same ones. There's pretty much 2 copies of every funerary mask, as people have started to notice. There's the one that's given to the corpse as they pass on, and there's the other one that they bring back with them from the underworld. And these are the ones from the underworld you would recognize.
I got a 21.
21? Yeah, you are able to help this horse patch up any wounds it has, and it kind of gets back up on its feet after a little while. And it's looking okay. You recognize it, this horse's breed, as a red roan mare.
Ooh.
And kind of as you've been looking it over, you notice that on the horse's bridle, there is inscribed a name in common. Photina. Photina. Photina.
Let me write that down real quick.
Alright, so Marin, you are now over by the dead body of the corpse that was littered with just these black arrows sticking out of it from behind.
May, do you want these? I saw you taking your arrows back.
Oh, I mean, sure, yeah. I'll come over and take a look at them. Would I notice that any of these weapons are poisoned or no?
You, as someone who might know, could tell that these seem completely mundane out of the hands of any of the returned. They just seem to be very dark in nature and made of kind of a darker wood or stone or metal.
Okay. I'll start pulling a few out until I'm back up to 20.
Okay.
And then I guess This guy had a golden mask, right?
Yes, all three of them had gold masks.
Should we take the masks off?
I figured I'd just look over the body first.
Okay.
Should I roll an investigation check?
Yeah, feel free to roll investigation.
10.
Ooh, perfect. So as you're looking over the body, you start to notice that it's, as you saw before, nothing really on the person other than their kind of garb they were wearing as they were riding on the horseback and the mask on their face. As you're kind of searching their body over, you get to their face area and you can kind of feel around on the mask they're wearing. And you start to feel something different. You would probably recognize that's a little different than other funerary masks you may have seen before or have felt. Since, you know, your background with healing and whatnot. And you would recognize that there seems to be a different texture on the back side of this funerary mask as you pull it kind of off the return's face. Would you like to turn over this mask?
Darian, we're not hearing you.
I would.
Okay. As you turn over the mask that the Dark Rider who fell off their horse is wearing, you look on it and you can see that it's currently written in a language that it seems almost undecipherable to you. But as you're investigating over it, you do notice there is one strange glyph that kind of sticks out to you that you recognize. And it says it's of the word Kea. Khea. Kea. Or Kia.
Kea.
Yeah. Other than that, there's nothing else on the body. From what you can
I kind
see.
of show that to May as she stands near me. And I, like, bring it over.
Is there any chance that I would know what language the rest of the writing is on this mask?
As you look over it, you don't recognize any of it either. But you are
Okay.
as well able to make out the very common glyph that says the word Kea on it.
Does Kea mean anything, or is it just like, or do we not know?
If you guys are like kind of saying it out loud, anyone can make a history check to see if they would know anything about it.
I'll do a history check.
I'll do one also.
This check will probably be most important for Orthea and Bard.
15.
14.
15,
13.
14, 11, 13. Okay. So most of you don't even recognize this name at all. But Orthea, as you hear this name, you, in the back of your mind, kind of recognize where this, you kind of recognize that name in some fashion, and its ties to the polis of Meletus. Let's see. Other than that, it's like on the tip of your tongue, basically. It's like right there in your mind, but you just can't place it.
It means something.
Oh, you would also recognize it as most likely a name.
Yeah. And what was the name that was written on the Ostrika?
On the Ostraka, the shard, was written the message that was written was silence the heretic Varyas. Varyas. His secrets must remain dead.
Which we can only assume is the one who was shot down.
Correct.
I don't know if this is going to be helpful, but inscribed on the horse was Fotina.
Yeah, on the horse's bridling, you could make out the name Fotina.
I kind of call out and say Fotina and see if the horse reacts to the name.
It does. Fotina kind of turns towards you and kind of makes their way over. And they're doing that horse thing where they just put their face in your face and like "Hobbrr." Hobbrr.
Well, I
helps.
guess it's safe to say that this is Fotina.
That would help if we want to know where they came from. But those other twos are very familiar to me. I have to go
How
check
so?
something. I turn around and start running to Miletus.
You're gonna start running to Miletus?
Yeah.
Okay.
The city?
So as you guys are kind of finishing up investigating over these bodies, you see Orthea, the satyr, starts to make their way, kind of rushing back towards the polis you've all been heading towards.
I shout over my shoulder, "Come with me if you want to find out."
As this happens, all of you standing around start to experience something very odd. For a moment, all sounds, as you hear him yell back, start to turn to whispers. And all color you can see starts to drain from the world. For you, Bard, in the world of Nyx, which you're seeing through, you would see the same thing happening. A lot of the colors of the stars around you start becoming gray, and kind of your vision starts to close in on itself. And as this happens, everything around you is just gray and dark, including the gold funerary masks of the two assailants from earlier. However, the mask being held right now in Marin's hand is glowing very bright in this dark phenomenon. Seconds later, though, everything starts to return to normal for everyone. And as your kind of hearing comes back, everyone feel free to go make a religion check.
This is my stuff, you guys.
Darian, I think you still have that bardic inspiration.
I do.
Correct.
So I add a d6 to it.
20.
Aw, beans. Well, the d6 could help me very much.
16.
16. Anyone who rolled a 12 or higher recognizes what just happened as an omen from the god Phoenix, god of lies and deception. Exactly what it meant is very unclear to you, and that's about it.
Hey guys, what was that?
Yeah, that was odd.
Omen from the god of lies and deceptions?
Huh.
Phoenix!
Well.
Woo! Love that guy.
Oh,
I'll
You
have
guys
to
know
pray to
Phoenix?
Keranos about this.
Yeah, I know
Imagine
lots
praying
about
to a
Phoenix.
god.
I don't know anything about Phoenix.
Yeah, totally. Oh.
Also, I don't want to be rude, but I feel like I introduced myself earlier and I still don't know half your names.
Oh,
sorry. I'm walking back over. My name is Arethia. I am a paladin here, hoping to join the Reverend Army. I'm a follower of Ifara, and therefore I protect the people within the communities of the polis, specifically this one in Miletus. But if you want to learn more about Phoenix and what that omen was, or where that name Kehab came from, I need to go look this up in our histories.
introductions as we walk.
My name is Bode, the Bode, and I give myself a little bit of a bow.
Do you play a little
I'm
jazzy
actually-
tune for everyone?
Not yet,
Aw.
not yet. But I say I'm actually heading to Modus. That's the name of the city, right?
Miletus?
Miletus. I'm actually heading to Miletus, hopefully to get a concert or something. I'm going to be the best music artist in this goddamn world.
All right,
Very
so you guys are all
exciting.
making your way, introducing yourselves. Keep going.
Yeah. I'm Marin. I, came from my little village in the ocean. I just kind of wanted to come out and help people ever since I became close with Keranos, I was kind of given this divine power to help those in need and, kind of preserve wisdom and whatnot. So, just gonna.
You say you're
Alright.
close to Keranos?
Well, I was, and I'm going to be, hopefully.
And Darren, you would recognize yourself as being chosen as one of his champions as well. Whether you want to keep that a secret or not.
Yeah. I was. He chose me, I guess. I don't mean to sound bragging, but
That's fantastic.
yeah, it's very exciting. Although it was a little scary at first.
Well, I'm sure he is a little, let's say, hot-blooded.
The lightning is a cool aspect. Not when you're very young, but
Quick-tempered?
now I can understand. Yeah, I just kind of came. I wanted to come to the city to learn and to help as much as I could.
Speaking
There's
of
much to see
bragging,
and
though,
much to learn here.
speaking of bragging, would you guys like some travel music?
Sure.
I pull out
See, why
my
not?
Alright, let me get my
Dulcimer.
harmonica.
I
Polo spuds.
I pull out my dulcimer. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Dulcimer? Yep.
Yes, dulcimer. I pull it out, start playing a tune, a little bow, 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 bow.
Am I supposed to know
And
this
then
song?
No, it's a song I just made up.
Oh, I was hoping you'd
Eh.
start playing like WAP or something.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow, chicka, wow.
And I start throwing in some words like quietly, not enough to like interrupt like any kind of conversation going on, but it's all in Sylvan.
Ah,
Oh,
I know
Sylvan.
I can sing with you.
Oh, you
it's
know
a
the word?
hot one.
And it's a hot
You're singing. You're playing smooth.
Yeah.
Okay. May, did you want to introduce yourself again?
Sure, I can reintroduce. I'm May. I'm a hunter from the wilderness, kind of near the polis of Setessa. I here because my mom died, and I'm not really sure what the deal with that was. So I'm gonna try to find some answers here in Miletus.
That sounds very traumatic. I'm very sorry.
I mean, it's not the best.
Yeah.
But,
Shit happens. That sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys travel, does everyone feel like they've properly introduced themselves now?
Yeah. And I'm worried
Yeah.
I left an awkward silence, which is being filled by very soft music after talking about death.
No.
Well,
Canonically,
once-
the banter just continues as you keep going.
Well, when we finish our conversation, I finish my little tune, it done, and I say, "All right, 5 silver pieces for that piece."
you ask
Yeah,
everyone.
come on. I don't play for free. Come on, guys. This is my living. Fuck it. You can pay me back later. I don't care.
Interesting folk.
Huh.
Huh.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So as you all make your way back to the polis,
Actually, real quick, where do we keep our gold in this
Equipment.
sheet?
D&D Beyond.
Oh,
where
it's
is the
at
gold on
the
sheet?
top right. It says currency.
Within the
You have to be on the
equipment, yep.
equipment tab,
And then you
can
click on
just-
currency.
and you can just click on it.
Okay.
People all want to look at
I
me.
see. Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Hey, Caleb, how tall is
How's it
Arathia?
going, chat? How we doing?
The top of my head is 4'10". The tip of my horns go to 5'6".
Okay, so we've just all made a bunch of
Tiny
Uh,
characters.
tiny
Except
ladies, and then the big non-binary.
Yeah, the big non-binary with the 3 little ladies.
Welcome to the Little Ladies Club.
We
Brought
got
to you
ourselves a
by-
strong they them.
A large non-binary centaur.
a strong
Seafoam
they
centaur.
them.
They're almost double our height.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know if it's too late to mention this, but can I take the host with us?
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, that's
you
a
can
good
remember their
point. I
name.
thought we would have.
I have it written down.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
14.
it's one second.
It's Neutrogena.
Fortina.
Fotina.
Farika.
Cardi B. The horse. No. All right. So as you guys continue bantering and heading back towards the polis, the sun does set in the west, and it is now just the beginning of the evening. You all have now made it to just like the outskirts, like you are now at the very gates and walls of Meletis herself. Nearby, since I know Bard has the horse with them, Orthea, you would know that there is a stable where anyone can keep their horses nearby.
Yeah.
If you wanted to point that out to them at all, or you could bring the horse with you farther into the city.
I'll let Bard know. If you want, there's a place that you can stop just around the corner. And for the horse as well.
For the horse as well.
I just
What-
kind of look in like kind
What
of
do
shock.
you mean?
Oh, it's just a joke.
A joke? Not a very funny joke. Yeah, I'll drop the horse by. Maybe I'll drop you by too, since you're acting like an animal. God.
I
Well,
just
I
kinda
am part
look at
animal.
May.
I lift up my leg and it's just a goat's
I kind
leg.
of pull on my shirt like, eee.
Yes. Remember, guys,
Don't
we're
ignore
respectful. We keep the cohesion of the party, okay?
Imagine doing something offensive, saying something offensive to a centaur. Never me. Could never
Couldn't be
do it.
me. Couldn't be me.
I'll say it's like, don't forget your Fey roots.
Yes.
You, as a satyr and a centaur, you are both of Fey origins.
I roll my eyes and I'm like, alright, let's head over to the stable.
Okay, so you're able to take them over to the stable where you find a stable master there in their hands. And they're like, oh, they see it's kind of like bruised at the moment. Like, we'll take it off your hands for you. Come back in a day if you would like to have her back.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so they take it from you. And now you are all at the front of Meletis, the city of Afara, a land known for its very, very strong defenses, I suppose, and that they respect knowledge. There is lots to be learned in the libraries of Meletis. I don't think there would be any night markets going on right now, or any like too big things going on, but you could find some more shops open later this evening, especially down by the docks of Meletis across town. You could find stuff going on over there. The streets are pretty well lit. There's lots of lights everywhere. There's hundreds upon thousands of people moving through, as this is one of the pretty much, actually it might be the largest of the 3 the polises. But yeah, you guys kind of have the place to yourself. Let's see. Orthea, you said you wanted to kind of go investigate into the name
Yeah.
you knew? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to head maybe towards your a library in town, a garrison?
Yeah,
Possibly.
the library.
Library? Okay.
first pulling up the records of the dead.
Yeah. And would everyone else like to go with towards a library kind of towards closer where you are in town?
Yeah, sure.
Of course, I would love to go to the library.
Okay.
Sure. Yes, why not?
Why not? Okay. So you're able to find your way to one of Melite's very, very grand libraries with many scrolls and tomes everywhere. At the front, you wanted to ask about the name itself, or you wanted to find kind of the location of the dead. You were saying?
Yeah, I wanted to see find the name Varius, if he's in any of the records here.
Yeah. As you kind of inquire about that, I'm assuming to someone and seeing if maybe they might know about it as well, other than just, going off on your lonesome. You say the word Varius, and they don't seem to kind of recognize the name at first. But let me take a quick look real quick.
Also, Bard, are you of the Lagona tribe or the Fairies tribe?
I believe Lagona tribe, right, Riley?
Yep. You are of the Lagona tribe, the merchants, as opposed to
yes,
the
I
fairies
see.
band.
Yeah, so I say the Lagona tribe, of course. Why?
I have not met very many, or perhaps any of the Fairies bands. Perhaps this would have been the first one. But
Shame.
I guess not.
This is the first of many things for me.
This is the first
Yeah,
time
like-
I've gone out in a while.
Y'all want to go to a tavern after this?
I suppose it would be a good time to, or a good idea to rest.
Cool.
Do we need a tavern to rest? Can't you just like get a tree?
Most of the
for
people that
trees.
live here in the city do not live in trees.
Do you live in trees?
No.
It's totally cool if you do. Like, I get it.
It was more of a cave.
Oh,
Mm.
that's really cool, actually.
I grew
Was
up
it
in
dark
one.
in the cave?
Yeah. Caves are pretty dark.
Did you have torches, though?
Not really, no.
That's so cool. I'm gonna write a song about that.
Okay. Are you gonna charge me to listen to it?
Of course not. It's your song.
Okay.
Do, 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 do.
Are you just rocking in a library now?
Yeah, I'm just kind of humming to myself, trying to think of a new song to write.
But yeah, so as you inquire about Varius, or Thea, they don't seem to really know if they have any records. You're free to look and see if they have anything. But as for any dead people of that name, they aren't sure.
Okay.
What about Kea?
Kea, let's see. So you're gonna ask the person at the library if they know anyone by the name of Kea. Yes?
I assume we still have the rune with us. We could probably show them the whole rune.
Yeah, the funerary mask.
I would keep that away before we know what kind of powers it holds. Remember, Phoenix spoke to us through it.
Are there any like
That's right.
Phoenix
make a good point.
people we could talk to in this city or anything?
Upon saying that, the librarian kind of scowls and is kind of like, we don't keep too many records on him. He's not liked by any of our patrons, our deities. And also, most of what's known about Phoenix is mostly just myth no one knows is true or not. Just stories told here and there, none of them confirmed or denied.
Like what?
Well, it's supposedly Phoenix who was the first ever returned from the underworld. The first person to ever dupe Athreos and Erebos, gods of the underworld. But who's to say, you know? He could have been around this whole time. But about Kea, you mentioned that name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Kea. They kind of turn around and they're kind of like flipping through some stuff in there. What you see them pull out is actually a library kind of loan sheet, so they know who has rented out certain scrolls or tomes. And they manage to find one. They go, oh, here, and they kind of pull out one. They're like, I knew that name was familiar. Kea, she is an oracle, a very well-known sage here in Melites, in fact. And they kind of pull out some stuff on her, and they're like, why are you asking about her? Are you seeking her for some or her oracular powers? Is there anything you need her to see for you?
We just came across her name in an interesting way. We just thought maybe it would be good to find out who
Oh,
this would be.
well, if you need, I can always point you towards her home. And she kind of starts. She pulls out like a older scroll, probably not being used anymore. She kind of like draws out a little map with some directions on it. And she's like, "This should lead you to Kea's home. It is covered in ivy. It should be easier to find because of how much overgrowth there is around there." And she kind of hands it over to you and says, "Do please, stay well, and I hope you find any information you're looking for."
Of course, thank you, and to you.
Okay, Caleb, you wanted to search for anything about Varius. You could.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Feel free to roll investigation.
Okay. A 10.
10. Let's see. Allow me to do a roll as well. Okay. So as you're searching for any kind of like Varius an author, Varius may be someone who's passed away, right? Finding a what are those things called? When someone passes away, you get like a
Obituary.
obituary. Yeah. You're not able to find any of those kind of laying around anywhere. And it seems from what you can tell, there are no records that you can find of this Varius person just by kind of going through like categories of everything.
Yeah. Seems to be someone who's been far away from the keeping of her records.
And then May, was there anything you wanted to do here?
Honestly,
is, okay.
not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be digging this place's vibe too much.
Yeah. Not much
Dang.
here to help you solve the mystery you're currently on.
Yeah, not really what I was directed, and also it seems kind of like stuffy and boring here.
Yeah.
So while they're looking at all that stuff, I just talk to May and make small talk.
Nice.
So, where are you from?
I nowhere, everywhere. Really nomadic. All people just kind of go from place to place, playing music. It's a really nice life, actually.
Nice.
What about you?
I'm kind of from the wilds around the polis of Setessa.
That's so cool.
Yeah, just kind of I hunted around there, and now I'm here.
That's so cool. Oh my god.
I don't
That
I don't
is
know if it's
so
really-
poggers.
Dude,
I don't know if it's
like,
really that cool. It's
being out
what
in
I
the
did.
wild, just like with nature. I've been going from like city to city, but I have not been like out in the wilds.
I'm not a huge fan of cities. Too many people telling you what to do.
I get that. I hate people telling me what to do. Man, fuck this system, am I right?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
follow the system.
Cities aren't
Uh-oh.
all bad.
Shrek.
They're gonna start rioting through the streets. Fuck the police!
In fact, most of what we have to offer for, entertainment, the arts, science, and medicine all comes from the development of civilization inside these walls.
Yeah, but why you tax? Why do you tax even the poorest people? Like, what the fuck is that?
I
Is
don't
this
know
new
about
lore?
that.
Is this
I
new
Is this
lore?
new
don't-
lore?
New lore?
I don't know. The Greeks tax people, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just there's nowhere in this book where it says there's tax, I think. So
I mean, if you have a city, you gotta
Sales
tax
tax is
people.
0.07%.
we must tax the people to keep them safe.
Oh
If-
man, cities are cool.
I think in Meletus it's not really anyone's taxed at all, but many
Okay.
people go to the different temples to different gods and give their offerings there.
Okay.
If there are taxes, then I'm in trouble because I don't think I've ever paid them any.
Well,
I don't
you also
think-
live in the wilds, which is
Also, if we're
cool.
supposed to leave offerings, then I'm in trouble because I don't think I've ever left any.
You know, this man's kind of got it right. Cities do have people. We
I'm a
love
lady.
people. This lady is right. Cities have
yeah.
people, and
And you wouldn't get
people
paid
is
without them.
money. Yes.
I just don't like people telling me what to do, and that I feel like that happens a lot when there
Have
are
you
you
like
had anyone tell you what to do since you
yes.
walked through
Well,
these
since
walls?
we got here, no, and I do like that.
You know, would you like to join a band? No
I-
one tells you what to do when you're in a band. You are the boss.
I can't play an instrument.
I'll teach you. Think about it. Just think about it.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm
you're-
gonna ask where the Temple of Keranos is.
Oh yeah. Well, I think in town we have a smaller temple of Keranos.
Jake, you gotta leave that open.
Let me see.
I'll open it in a second.
I believe you would know that in town there is a place kind of higher up, on some cliffs or closest to the water, high up near the water, where there's a congregation of many of the different temples to the gods around there. Some of them larger, like the largest you would find in town is probably to Afara. And you would probably find many statues of her and her face engraved in many of the walls throughout our fine city. If you're looking for Phoenix, though, like I said before, I don't believe we have any places of worship out in the light
No, for
towards him.
Keranos.
But yes, for Keranos, of course, you could find one. Keranos, Thassa, they are all friends of Afara.
Yeah, okay,
Um,
cool.
No, I've read through this and I know there's like a specific place. But yeah. That's what we're going with it for now.
Okay.
Yep. Is there anything else you guys would like to do while you're in the library? Anything you'd like to inquire about? No?
Really, I think I'm more interested. I feel like this could be a fun, well, not fun, I guess, but an interesting route to take is to find out what the omen could mean and what,
We would
see
have to
what
see an
she has to
oracle
offer.
about that.
I think that would be a smart decision.
Yeah, sure.
We wouldn't want to continue on knowing that something had happened and not do anything about it.
Probably will have to wait till morning though.
Well, it is very early in the evening. It's probably
Oh,
around
God.
like I guess current time, like in the real world, the sun goes down at about like 4 or 5 now, right? But it'd probably be
Mhm.
around 6 p.m.
Okay.
So very, very early in the night, you guys were able to find this library very fast since Orthea has been here before and knew their way around. You probably only spend... How much time do you think you guys would spend in here?
Probably took me 15 minutes of searching before I decided I couldn't find anything on Varius.
Yeah, because everything is very organized here. They like to keep things very accessible to everyone. And so you guys want to head out into the early night?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know about the customs really here, or maybe if I do, I really.
You probably wouldn't know any or very many of the customs, but from what you've seen, a lot of them are very similar to your Triton culture, right? Where
Okay.
it's be civil mainly, right?
Yeah.
But some of like specific culture you might have it in your village, you know, which was under the sea. Might be a little different now that you can't swim everywhere.
Would it be out of the ordinary to go see her now, or is that
Oh no,
like
it would
to attempt?
If you ask the party, I believe Orthea would have the most information on that. And Orthea, you would probably know that most people stay up pretty late and are very welcoming people for the most part, especially the sages of the town. They're known to be very open people about the gods and very open to, you know, explaining to many people.
Mm-hmm.
When she asks that question, I say, it might be too late.
No, in fact, most people are going to be, just getting into the swing of things for the night, just around now. There will still be lights on the streets for many hours. If we wanted to, there are many people that we could talk to that know more about Phoenix than I do.
I think we should go discuss with that oracle that the librarian mentioned to us. I feel as though if we were to ignore this happening, it could be very problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even if you wanted to ask about whether you should go, you could always go visit Keranos' shrine if you wanted to confer with him at all. But yeah, whatever you guys want to do.
I propose that we go talk to the oracle.
Mm-hmm. And we got her where she lives.
Yeah, she kind of gave us like a map, I think.
Yeah.
Or like directions at least.
All right, who has cartographer skills?
Who knows how to read a map?
I'm not a cartographer, but I don't get lost easy.
Would that be underneath features and traits?
I don't think you need cartographer's tools to read a map.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
should be fine. Your cartographer tools are writing a map, you dinkies.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the Oracle District.
The Oracle District?
That'd be a good place
where
to start.
all the oracles live.
So, as you guys kind of follow the map, you notice it leads you towards the edge of the polis, and in the little distance, you can see a nondescript cottage sitting out there. It seems kind of small from the outside. A lot of it's kind of cramped into one area down there. And I guess there's a lot of lavender plants planted around this area as well. And so you guys kind of start coming upon this ivy-covered cottage, right? And inside you can see that the lights are on inside. But you don't really see anyone running past any windows at the moment.
Shall we knock? Is that a thing?
Yes. To announce your presence.
I'm gonna hang back here if that's cool with you guys.
Is something wrong? Are you allergic to ivy?
Let's just say oracles aren't my thing.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hang back here. Thanks.
Means
All right. So you guys approach the door.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right, you're there.
Fast travel.
You fast traveled
Um,
from the road to the doorstep. Great job. But there was
Hello.
like a really long loading screen to get there.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, hold on.
T-pose.
All right,
The Oracle's T-pose and loading.
who's gonna be the first to knock? Who's gonna do it?
Me. I'll give a good solid knock on the threshold, the door frame,
Mm-hmm.
and try the door.
Yeah. The door is locked, and as you kind of knock on it, you hear a yell from inside that says, "Go away! Not accepting visitors."
Is I'm
Oh.
gonna kind of ignore that. Is this the house of the Oracle Kea?
Hearing that, she says, "What about it? And also I said go away."
Do you know the name Varius?
Upon hearing that, she goes, "La la la, not listening. See you later." As she's doing this, feel free to roll persuasion.
Yeah. 12.
Mm-hmm. So, at first during this dialogue, she's just been ignoring you, kind of. She's like, "La la la la," but as you speak the name Varius, you hear her going "la la la," and she kind of stops, right? And then she comes over to the door, and she opens it immediately, like very fast. She's like, "Come in, come in." Right, and she's kind of like looking around outside a little suspiciously, but she's like, "Get in here."
She's one centaur watching from the
Okay.
distance.
But as she opens the door, you notice a female human oracle has now answered the door for you.
Bard, you should maybe come in.
I'd really rather not.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stand out here. Okay.
While they're inside there, is it okay if I draw? Do I have the materials for that?
Drawing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have the
Some sort of
materials? Because what
don't know.
what pack do you have? Do you have like an explorer's pack, a entertainer's pack,
A disguise kit.
a what? Oh, you have a
Disguise
disguise kit? That's
Yeah.
that's an equipment you have. Do you
Oh,
want,
I have a backpack adventuring gear.
do you have pencil and
Uh-huh.
paper?
No.
I think it's like there's like a wizards
Scholars.
can get a scholar's pack, yeah. But you probably wouldn't have too much stuff to draw with on you at the
Fine.
moment.
I'm on drawing the door. while we
Unless
do
you have
this.
like music sheets as a bard, you could write on.
Fine,
You think
fine.
bards know how to read music?
It's all up here, baby. Okay.
I'm a drawing the door. While they're in there.
Okay. So she invites you all inside. Does anyone have the funerary mask out at the moment?
I think Marin has been holding on to those.
Yeah, I think after the weird thing happened, I probably just kind of put it in my bag and was like, huh.
Okay. So as she invites you inside, she kind of beckons you to sit down at a just kind of like modest wooden table with a few chairs around it in there. And she looks to you and she says, my normal consultation fees are my normal consultation fee is 3 gold each. So if you're gonna want to get anything out of me, she kind of
Yes,
like,
of course. I'll put that down on the table. At least my share.
okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Put down 3 gold.
Oh, it's 3 gold as a group, I suppose.
Oh, great. I'll put down 1.
Then, yeah, there are 3 of us.
Okay.
Pog.
So Kea is now kind of eyeing you all over, just kind of staring. And she's like, "So what can I do you for? What brings you to me specifically? I am of well renown as an oracle, I suppose, but what can I do for you?"
I kind of explain what happened and I kind of bring up the mask. Like I show her the mask and I tell her what we saw.
Yeah, as you bring up the fact of the mask, she looks kind of concerned and very, very interested in what you're saying. And you say you pull out the mask for her?
Yeah, and I kind of show her it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So she kind of looks it over and she says, "My name's written on it." And she's kind of like leaning on the table now, kind of has the funerary mask on the table, kind of like leaning over it. And as
Is it
she
a
does that, she
prostitute?
says, "This isn't gonna cost you anything. It seems I'm more involved in this situation than you all are."
I
And
take
she's
my
kind
money
of...
back.
She starts looking over it for some time. And you see her kind of going back and forth between the table and some other places in her room, grabbing different scrolls, which have different kind of runes on it. Some of the runes match up with those written and inscribed on the inside of the mask. Let me actually share with you guys on Discord a picture of what the mask looks like that you've been carrying around. Just so you know, you can get a good idea, help you guys get in the zone. Da, 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 da. Theros a lot. Theros a lot. Here it is. Here is the mask of Varius.
Huh.
Creepy.
As she's starting to like looking through it, she starts putting her finger upon the first stanza of these runes that are written. And she says, "There seems to be an incomplete cipher here." She starts to read, "Hid from eyes of mortals and gods lies wither in Orestes' rot." And she kind of starts scratching her head at this, and she's like, "Orestes. It seems this text is being purposefully, being direct, mentioning Orestes' name. This is a line from a paean to Phoenix himself. None of you have been involved with him, have you?"
Other than the omen,
You,
not
yeah.
as far as I know.
We kind of had some spooky vision.
A vision? Oh,
Everything started losing color.
that's Phoenix, all right. There's another cipher here that seems to be more incomplete than the other one. But it's impossible to decode, even with my magic. That seems to be all. But Orestes, what could Phoenix want there? And she kind of starts going through more and more of her papers she has. And she turns back to you all and she says, "So this was from Varius, you said? How do you know? How do you know Varius?"
Well, there were two returned chasing him, and they had the hits written on an ostraca.
Do you have it with you, perhaps? It could be miswritten or something.
Suppose we could. Would you have it, Orethia?
No, I never actually had it.
Marin, you were the
I
last
think I was
person to be holding it?
Yeah, so it'd be me then.
We gave the cleric all the religious stuff.
Okay. So you
whip it
show
out.
her the
Brah.
clay piece of the mask. Okay. She looks at it and she kind of laughs to herself. She's like, "That bastard." Varius and I go a little bit back. I used to know him. He, as well as me, we are both oracles, but for very different gods. I work for Afara. He was for Phoenix his entire life. Ugh, the troublemaker. Have you ever heard the satirical comedy, The Satyr's Half-Horn? That's the only real work I ever saw come out of him. Let's see.
might
Would I have?
You have?
Would I have?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you to decide. You can be like, "Yeah, I saw that one underwater." They had the
It didn't
H2O
translate
version.
very well.
Yeah, I saw that one in the forest.
Personally, I thought that was a little politically incorrect. I did not choose to vote.
Whether this was really Varus you found or not, it makes sense it would be him. He's caused me my fair share of trouble in the past. Oh, that man. So sorry, back on track. Did you want to know more about Orestes? Because it's very coincidental, but there is a something that was dug up recently near a nearby river. It's about 3 days away. It shouldn't be anything, but the timing's too coincidental. Let's see. She continues to kind of read through, going over and over in her head. But yeah, as it says, hid from eyes of mortals and gods lies wither in Orestes' rot. The court of Orestes himself, who used to be a devout follower of Phoenix, it disappeared and has been gone forever. But recently, it seems that near the riverbank, nearby, the Kaistanos River, there was recently, the water levels had sunk in certain parts, and someone said they had found some ancient ruins as they were traveling by. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I could always give you a map if you ever want to check it out. Here. And she kind of goes over and she starts, she takes, if you have the map that you brought with to get there, she might, like, take that and, like, write on it some more.
Over.
Yeah.
Hey, Kaistanos, welcome to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Hey, paisanos! But yeah, there was a earthquake recently, and that's why in the Kachton Mountains, the Kaistanos River started to drain out there. Let's see. Yeah, it's been a concerning event for many of the farmers down there because of all the ancient etchings and ruined structures now getting pulled up, and also the lack of water now coming into that area. But if you want to know more, I guess I'm the person for it. Many of us sages have been looking into it for the past week, but this is the closest lead I've had on anything. Is there any questions I can answer for any of you?
Is there something we should do about the omen?
If you received an omen from Phoenix himself, it can't be good. It either means he wants you to go do something for him, and if you don't, he's seriously gonna make an enemy out of you. Or it could be something completely different.
Well, that's bullshit.
Such is the will of the gods.
There's no fighting it. Myself, I've never believed in coincidences. This clearly are connected.
It would be better for all involved if we were to figure this out. It would be unwise to just let this be. So maybe I'll pray upon it tonight.
As you're kind of
like we're going to the wet ruins.
As you guys are talking over it, she kind of starts rummaging around, and she pulls out what look to be some rubbings and some other historic artifacts she kind of has in a box. And she kind of brings them over to the table with the lid closed at the time. And she has like a couple rubbings in her hand. She says, if you go to the temple itself, I would be more than willing to pay for any artifacts you might find there. If the will of the gods isn't enough to convince you, that is.
I pretty much am gonna go no matter what, but we'll see if we need maybe a bit of fiscal help.
Well,
later.
if it's anything, I'm willing to pay 200 gold, each of you, 200 gold, if you're able to bring back any sort of anything, any scrolls, any stones, maybe runes, tablets laid there. Any information at all would be very, very appreciated.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what we can find.
Is there anything else I can help you all with? I noticed you're a guard from here as well. Thank you for helping everyone out. Is
Thank you
there
for your service.
Thank you for your service. Is there anything any sage advice I can give you guys? No one clip that. I know we're streaming. Don't clip that.
Don't click that.
Well, if
I
I
there's
think
Oh.
if I can think of anything, I will come back. Now that I know where you are.
of course. And if you ever need help getting around, I'm sure our very very kind lady in service here could help you out.
If anything, it's enough for me to carry Afara's reach to reclaim what once was a part of us.
Yes, of course. I'm sure Afara would be very happy to see what's going on there as well. Any and all knowledge is welcomed. May, did you have anything you wanted to say?
I think I'm good.
Oh, okay. Just making
Yeah.
sure. All right.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else I can help you all with tonight, or shall I head back to my work?
We shouldn't keep you.
Yeah, I think we have what we need now.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Much
And
appreciated.
if you ever come by, just mention. I'll recognize your voices. It's no matter.
How do you maintain? So how do you like make money if you turn people away when they knock at your door?
Well,
Well,
you
clearly
see,
she makes enough money already.
Yes, as he says, I am currently working for many people, and I'm communicating back and forth with many gods at the moment, listening in with Afara on many things, and getting that disrupted is not something any of them like. But this is something very important. I'll make sure Afara knows of this as well. She's probably listening now, actually. So hopefully everything should be fine. This
Is
was
Afara Twitch chat?
Afara's Twitch chat. No, Afara's God, so Twitch chat is God.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
is there
beans.
I notice you bear the marks of the gods themselves as well. Are you also a champion by chance? I notice the markings of Keranos here and Afara, but what about you?
Oh, I don't think I'm a champion.
Do you don't?
I mean,
Well,
I don't know. I guess I'm here to. I'm looking for like a temple to Farika or something here, but I don't know if I'm. I don't know if I'm
Farika.
like Farika. Yeah, I don't know if I'm like a champion of her or anything.
Well, it would explain why her stars have been moving ever closer to Meletis lately. I suppose they're following you. Even in my divinations with the gods, it seems you shine very bright right now. So expect many things coming your way, young one.
Okay. I'm not really sure how to respond to that or what to do with that information.
No, I completely understand. Being chosen is not something that, it's found out easily by yourself. If you need help, there is a temple to Farika near all the others in town. I'm sure people there could definitely talk to you. And I believe there may be an oracle there as well. They might be able to see a little more into why you shine so bright in the stars of Nyx.
Okay, I'll drop by there.
All right. So thank you all for bringing this to my attention, and please come back in one piece.
Keranos willing.
May the force be with you. Yeah, Caleb, you have to
And
come
wait-
up with some kind of thing like that, but for Afara.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Afara's hand hold you.
May her hand guide you. All right. So you guys head out.
Catch up and I go, so, what did you guys find out?
Wait. First of all, what did you draw in the dirt?
Yeah, what
A
is this?
penis, I don't know.
It's like 100 square feet of drawing
Just
in the
the,
dirt.
just the stars. I
Oh,
like-
that's epic.
I like the sky.
Nice.
She drew
But you can barely see the stars right now.
she drew that.
What do you mean you
Oh,
can
it's
barely
gone.
see the
Never mind.
stars? You can start to see many stars coming up tonight.
Right. But like the sun just set a little like half an hour ago.
I
And the
interrupt,
lights are still on in the city.
I interrupt him and I say, I interrupt him and I say, hey, can we go to the tavern now?
Stop at the temple super quick and I'll meet you guys there.
We
Okay.
I should probably go to the temple things too.
All right. And Orthea, where did you want to head?
I will report back to the I don't know if there's a captain of the paladins here. I'm not in the army, but if
Yeah,
there's
but you
someone
can.
overseeing
There's
my guard work-
obviously a guard captain who
Yeah.
gave you your orders to go patrol earlier today.
I'm gonna report back to them.
Okay. Sounds good. And so, Bard, you're gonna start heading your way, trying to find probably. Are you looking for like the closest tavern? Maybe the biggest tavern you can find? Maybe asking around about it?
not the biggest tavern. I'm just gonna look for the closest tavern that's like active.
Okay, okay. So while you head there, Marin and May, you're both heading towards the temples in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So as
I
you
have
head,
some words.
yep. So you guys are heading towards kind of the eastern part of town, towards the waters. And then on much higher, like I said before, up on the cliffs, there's more temples situated up there. You can find the large, very well constructed temple to Afara on top there. And then around it, you can find many other, not as large, but still very substantially sized, different temples to your respective gods you've been pointed towards.
Cool beans. Meet back here, I'd say, like, in between, like, what would essentially kind of be, I guess, equidistant from both of the temples.
Yeah, sure. Good luck with whatever you're doing. What are you
Yeah.
doing, by the way?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask him, how best to prepare for this situation, and whether or not it's wise to pursue this any farther.
Okay.
Riley, is there any like tavern in eyeshot? My distance?
So from Kaya's cottage, she lives more on the outskirts of town, probably where a lot of agriculture is going on. And so all of you are taking, this like longer walk into town and then splitting up. From just getting into town, you can definitely find a tavern very close by. One most likely used by many travelers as well.
Okay, so I say, I point to the tavern. I say, hey, when you guys meet up, I'll be in there.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. So, Marin, would you like to go to your temple first?
Yep.
All right. So as you step inside, there's, you go under the large archway in there, leading in. There's many other devout followers of Keranos in there. They recognize maybe some of the garments you wear that might be branded with Keranos' symbol as well. And as you go in there, they say, welcome. And you meet many other people who, while walking through town, there were many humans, but in here you happen to notice there are many Tritons as well as humans, probably like 50-50. So many of them, recognize you. You might not recognize anyone else in there at the moment. But you would know that up at the front of the temple would be or I guess back of the temple, is a place where you see many people praying and asking Keranos guidance and questions, if you wanted to go over there.
I think that would be best.
Okay. So as you're up there, what did you want to ask Keranos about?
I wanted to ask about the omen placed upon me and whether or not it was wise to pursue these leads.
Yeah.
Well, no. Like,
no,
I guess
you're good.
something like that.
Yeah,
Just kind of like his blessing on my journeys.
As you
Giving
ask
thanks, I
him
guess.
these questions, you suddenly hear a large gasp behind you from many of the other followers. It's a little jarring, so you kind of you're a little shocked at first, and as you look around, everyone's kind of staring at you at the moment. One of them comes over to you, kind of like rushes over another, trying. They say, your bag, what's in there?
And then I kind of look. Is it the mask glowing?
No, as you look inside your bag, you can start to see like a faint line of smoke arising out of what looks to be the papers you had earlier of the map.
Oh. Like it's burning?
It seems to be.
I suppose. Is this you, Keranos?
Are you gonna pull out the paper?
Yeah.
So as you
I
pull out
guess
your
I thought that
paper
was...
into the light of the temple, upon it you see that there is now a what seems to be emblazoned a mark of Keranos upon the map. And the other follows around. You're like, like gasping. It's like, it seems he's given you one of his greatest omens. Did you not see the lightning that came down and struck upon you?
No.
Well, it was definitely his. Like, look at the symbol. And everyone's like, there's like murmuring. They're like, the silent lightning. He only sends those to his most devout, his champions. And they're all kind of in awe of you.
Aw.
Keranos, it seems he's given you his blessing for whatever you may have coming forth with that map. If I were you, I would most definitely go towards it, whatever it might be. I won't say any more than that.
Feeling that this might be what he would like. I'm glad to know that my feeling was correct.
Do you think that this is what Keranos wants you to do?
I have a feeling the pursuit of knowledge was probably what he wanted, but I wanted to check. Thought it would be pretty cool during my first time as a cleric to kind of...
Yeah, no, you're good. And
see what that
in the
was
world
like.
of Theros, the gods are much more verbal. You would know as a player, many of the gods have even taken human forms and come down to the land just to interact with people. The god you would know that has spent the most time interacting with humans would be Nylia herself.
One of the... Okay, that's not...
Nylia is
Sorry,
the god of the hunt.
I have your
Is that
info
common
sheet
knowledge, or
open.
is that just something Darian would know?
Probably anyone who is more devout would know a lot about kind of like you would know probably the names of all 15 deities, as many civilians of the world worship all 15 of them, but for very different reasons, right? If you're traveling, you might pray to Athreos, the god of passage and travel. If you're taking a voyage, you might ask Thassa, god of the sea,
Okay.
And so just kind of like general things about them, I think everyone would kind of know, and about how like I just said, gods do spend time in the world with their followers sometimes. But yeah,
Smile to
so
myself and give thanks again. We're buds.
everyone else is praying much harder now. Now that they know that he's really listening, they want to make sure it's heard.
They're jealous.
All right, May. So your temple, well,
Yeah.
not as actually, it's probably as great as the one of Keranos as well.
Is it bumping?
Should I pull up the Magic the Gathering art for the Temple of Malady? I think is what it is.
Sure.
It kind of looks like this, I guess. Probably not. This one looks much more evil and in the middle of the wilderness. But kind of something like this. Let me drop it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Can't show history. What does it mean? Turn on. Clipboard. My clipboard is empty. What? What is this doing? Did Windows update while we've been playing? Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm doing Windows V instead of Control V. I'm dumb.
No. Yeah, that'll do it.
I was like, why is it trying to paste from Windows? There we go. The temple, you
So
make
like
yourself...
that, but inside.
Yeah, well, actually, it's much more outside, probably.
Okay.
Probably the same with Keranos, is that there are those like giant pillar archways, but most of them are open to the constellations in the sky.
Which
By
is
the-
why he was able to hit me with lightning.
Yeah,
His
by the way,
lightning
did I
can
see a
go through
bolt of
stone.
lightning through the sky?
You're probably not turned towards it, and also the bolt made no sound as it struck.
That's fair.
The flash of light, though, might have turned your attention, as you see kind of a flash of light heading that way, but by the time you're able to turn your head, you're not really able to tell what it was. This Temple of Malady you're heading into is actually one of the larger temples here, as Afara, the god of the people, wants to keep them healthy with medicine and whatnot. And so as you start to walk up there, you're kind of greeted at the door, and they're like, "Ah, welcome, welcome. Are you here to pray to Farrakha? Are there any illnesses you or your family are experiencing right now we can help with?"
Not really. I'd like to talk with the Oracle here if I could.
Yes. Right up at the front near the and you see up there, there's like, kind of like in the picture, there's like a goblet with kind of the medicinal fumes pouring out of it.
Next to the smoky goblet, okay.
Next to the smoky goblet, yeah. You see there is someone up there
Holistic
kind of
remedies.
placing things inside, stirring it. You say
Alright, I
holistic
will-
remedies.
I did.
I will head up to the goblet stirrer.
Okay. As you start to approach, they seem to have their eyes closed at the moment, kind of swaying back and forth as they are able to grab easily all the things they need to add, as if they're currently communing with some deity. As you approach, though, and get closer, their eyes slowly open, and they stop there, kind of swaying back and forth, as they look down upon you, and they say, they reach out their hands, like, "Ah, it seems you finally made it. Welcome. What is your name?"
Hi, I'm May. Nice to meet you. Who are you?
I am the Oracle to Farrakha here in Melitis. You may call me Clarice. Your coming has been known for very many weeks by now. Your constellations, they came from Setessa. Am I right?
Yeah, we met with another oracle earlier, and she said that there had been some stars following me. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I had I don't know if I'd call it a vision, but kind of a feeling that I should come here.
Well, that feeling you had, that must have been Farrakha herself leading you to me. It seems you've been living on your own from the looks of it. It doesn't seem
Not-
you're wearing her colors at all.
I haven't exactly been on my own. I spent some time with this basilisk. That's kind of
Basilisk.
one of the things that's kind of what I'm here about. Um,
Hmm.
something happened to them and they passed away, and I'm not really sure what. And I kind of got a feeling that I could figure it out here.
So you're saying that the basilisk you were with has passed away under Farrakha's own gaze? Did you hear anything? Did they ever speak to you?
They never talked to me, but I don't know. We never communicated, but we spent a while together, and I learned a thing or two from it.
Hmm. And if I may ask, you seem to have something on your person. Kind of noticed it when you came in. Is that
Oh
what
yeah.
is that you have on you? It bears her scent.
So I pull out a kind of large green scaled egg. Yeah, they left this behind after they passed.
Uh, as she kind of rounds around the goblet up there, she comes around. You know, she's just a human, and she kind of walks down. She says, may I hold it? Of course not if you want me to not touch it, but I could try and use my oracular powers to see if there's anything important about this. Of no charge, of course. For not for one of Farrakha's chosen.
I'm gonna give her a quick glance up and down and see if
Yeah.
she's sussable.
She's just kind of wearing these very ornate, like very, very pretty, like, robes right now. And it doesn't seem she has anything else on her at the moment. Everything else was kind of left up there by the altar.
I guess I'll hand it over to her.
Okay. As you hand it over, she goes, "Baptism time!" She chucks it in the... No. It's just like dunking it in the stew. Oh, baby!
Tasty.
The power
You know,
of
like when you
Christ.
crack an egg in some instant ramen and mix it up.
Yeah, she literally grabs it, breaks it over her knee. No. As she takes it from you, she's like, you may hold it as well, please. And she kind of closes her eyes and starts to sway back and forth again. And after a little while of doing it, you see a lot of people have kind of crowded around. It's a little awkward for you, as everyone's just like, has their eyes upon you. There aren't too many people, maybe like 7 or 6 people kind of watching that are close by.
Yeah, this is kind of weird. You're just kind of vibing around with your eyes closed while we're both holding onto an egg and people are watching.
It doesn't seem she hears you at all, as she just continues for a moment. And then after a little while, she opens her eyes again, and she smiles towards you. She carefully, like, pushes it back towards your possession. She says, please hold on to this, and keep it safe. I can't tell you much, but continue following Farrakha, wherever it leads you. It seems she has very, very big plans, and we would be glad to help you in any way we can.
When you say you can't tell me much,
I mean,
you
she
can't
didn't tell
tell
me
me?
much.
Okay. Okay.
Her messages are more, she and a couple other gods in the pantheon like to communicate through more of puzzles, should I say? They enjoy their mysteries, as with the basilisk egg you have here. I can't tell you exactly what will come of it, but as I said, please take good care.
All right. I guess I will.
Can we get you outfitted with anything? Would you like any any marks to Farrakha? We can even give you. And she kind of starts. She beckons you to come with her as she's heading down towards like the front of the area, and she's like, we can get you really anything. As it seems you are a very high-ranking member for Farrakha. Maybe her sign? Would you like it inscribed anywhere for you?
If I could just get like a sew on patch or something, I guess that'd be good.
Of course, of course. And then she kind of turns to someone, And she's like, he needs some more garbs. We have a new member. Colt member. No, this is the new champion we've been expecting. And they go off, and then they bring back what seems to be kind of an entire set of clothes, as well as there are patches upon it that have her insignia upon it as well. And they say, "This is for you. Is there anything at all we can help you with tonight?"
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Well,
Got
do you need a place to stay at all? I know the travel must have been long from Setessa.
I can kind of just stay anywhere. I think I'm good.
She kind of laughs and she says, "Well, anywhere you stay, Farrakha's blessing will always be with you." Well, thank you for coming by. Yes, please, anytime at all, if you ever need my aid in anything, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help another follower.
Okay, sure. So just to recap, hold on to the egg and take care of it, and just kind of keep doing what I'm doing.
Yes, and I don't know what tells me this, but it seems in the mysteries she showed me, you are currently searching your own mysteries as well. And it looks like if you keep following whatever path it may lead you to, and that egg as well seems to have a destiny of its own, continue towards it, and I think everything you are searching for will be found.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So Marin and May,
I will leave.
you both are gonna meet up outside. Is that what you talked about
Yeah.
earlier?
Yeah.
So how'd it go for you?
Wait. Before they meet up, can I do something?
Yeah.
So when they're out of like distance where they can't see me anymore, instead of going to the bar, can I go back to that cottage with the oracle?
Yeah, for sure.
So I knock on the door,
Mm-hmm.
and does she answer?
Yeah, so as you knock upon the door, you hear her kind of run back, and she kind of opens the door right away. And as she like looks at the height level she thought she'd be looking, she kind of like turns her head up and she goes, I'm sorry. Can I help you?"
I was with that group before, but I didn't come in with Varius. Is it okay if I talk to you about something?
She kind of looks you over, and she also looks towards your eyes themselves, and she kind of recognizes who you might be based on her own oracular powers. She goes, yes, of course, come in."
So I walk in and sit down and start talking to her.
You,
and-
the centaur, sit down.
Yeah, and I go, so roughly a year ago, I got these powers, but the oracular powers like you have, but I don't want to choose a god, and now I'm hearing all these voices, and like it's just been driving me kind of wild. And can you help me? Like, how do you deal?
She kind of sighs to herself and she says, "Well, those voices start stopping once you follow one person."
I can't. I can't.
Yeah,
Like,
I hear you, but just because you can't choose one doesn't mean you can't you know at least help one out temporarily. You could always strike a deal with some of the gods if you ever needed help, but that means you'd have to do something for them in return. You said you
and
came with the group earlier?
yeah.
Uh, well, I hate saying this, but Phoenix himself gave. You were there. You were given the omen earlier, or did you not see anything?
No, I saw the colors. It was weird because I don't see like them. I see through Nyx, and the the colors did the same thing that they described, going grayed out, and I saw
So
that.
even in there, it seems Phoenix was trying to speak to you. I I would never in a million years give anyone this idea, but seeing as Phoenix is already seems to be trying to ask you for something, I think if you were to ask him for something in return, uh despite his reputation, he might follow through.
And if I help out a god, it will help with the voices.
Well, how it works, at least for me, is back before anything, even before I was a oracle. Uh, I have been a devout follower of Afara my entire life, and so by the time it came, my powers were gifted to me to see into the realm of Nyx. She was already there for me. Every so often I do hear the conversations between Afara herself and other gods, but only ever if Afara wishes for me to hear. Uh, for you, I think the same could happen. If you strike a deal, maybe they'll for some time choose to allow you to hear through them, if you so choose. But like I said, it's Phoenix. He's the god of deception himself. So even if you make a deal with him, it may not be what you think you're getting into. I would honestly recommend joining any other god and seeing if they would allow their blessing upon you as an oracle.
My friends, they were chosen by their gods, and they helped their gods. Do you think that possibly one of their gods might be able to strike a deal with me?
Of course, I think so. Um, let's see. Afara, obviously, the guard earlier. She, you could always talk with her. There was the red-haired girl who spoke of Farrakha, or I guess she's her presence in Nyx spoke to me of her in Farrakha. And then the Triton, Marin, her name was. She was for Keranos. Um, Keranos usually chooses many of his followers, but Afara would be very welcoming to all people.
Okay,
But
thank you.
like I said, if you don't want to ascribe yourself to any one god, there are many oracles you could find out there who might have kind of their own knowledge on how you might help out more than one god in exchange for their help.
Do you know who I could talk to about that? Do you
Uh,
know anyone who's preferably been in this for a while?
Personally, I'm not acquainted with anyone. I've only heard and read some scrolls in the past. I could start looking through if you came back later. You said you were traveling with them as well?
I mean, I haven't made any decisions, but I could.
Well, here I'll say this. If you are able to go with them to Orestes, the place that
Mhm.
has recently been opened up by these earthquakes happening down by the Kaistanos River, uh I would be more than happy to look into this for you. I can start
Okay.
asking around as well.
Okay, thank you.
Is there
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Is there anything else I can help you with for tonight?
Um, no, not tonight. Thank
Uh,
you.
okay.
Um, I get up and leave, and as soon, like right before I leave the door, I turn around and say thank you again, and then leave.
Yeah, she smiles back as she closes the door.
And then I just make my way back towards the tavern and actually go into the tavern this time.
Okay, sounds good. And back to Orthea. You are now, you want to go report to your guard captain?
Yes.
Okay. So as you approach the, like, normal barracks, I guess, of Meletus, you're able to find your, 2 companion guards from earlier. They're kind of filling him in on, the report from earlier today about all the new, travelers who were coming along and on the fact that there were returned riding in to town and trying to, warn them that maybe there might be more coming.
Okay.
And yeah, upon seeing you walk in, they kind of turn. They go, "Oh, there she is!" And they kind of like turn towards you.
I'm now just remembering we didn't clean up anything.
The corpses on the road.
Yeah.
That should be no problem. The beasts out in the wild should take care of the return for us. You didn't find anything on the bodies, right? No identification at all, really?
To my knowledge, nothing definite. There was something a little interesting that required me to go see an oracle.
Oracle?
And it's with that brings me to say that I will have to be going on a trip for the next couple of days.
Oh,
to see Afara's will brought through.
You were called upon by Afara? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude, but I know you just started as one of our own paladins.
Right, but it wasn't Afara that spoke to us.
Not Afara?
No. It was Phoenix.
Ugh. Phoenix. They all kind of scowl at the name. They're like, ugh. So, what you're saying is Phoenix has given you some kind of, what are they called? What's the word for it? A sign?
Omen.
Omen. So, Phoenix has given you an omen? Ugh.
As slimy as he may be, the gods' wills must be at least acknowledged.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if what you're saying is true, and I have no reasons to doubt you, it sounds that if you don't do this, something, or he might start throwing even more of those returned our way.
Exactly.
Do you think you'll be fine going out on your own?
I've actually fallen into the same fate with a couple of other travelers that were there at the scene.
Couple of others. Oh, there was the centaur and the triton, right?
Yes. And another that comes from Satessa.
Well, bring them by before you leave. And if there's anything we can get for you guys, any I guess weaponry or armor we can supply you with from just the basic things we have here in the armory. We'd be more than happy to equip you all for your travels.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll be coming through in the morning before we set out.
All right. And may Afara be with you. And also
with you. And with your spirit as well.
All right. So will you be staying here tonight then, or are you going to go meet back up with the other travelers?
I believe I will be staying with them.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you, Captain.
And he kind of, as you head off, he continues back with the guards as they're kind of filling out some reports.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now as the stars have become even brighter around town, as lights have started to go off in different places, you've all met back up in front of the tavern you found earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now's the time we start improving tavern names. All right, everyone, let's all start typing
Bloody
one.
grubbers.
We're all gonna type one letter into Discord, and we'll go from there. All right, you guys ready?
Okay.
I'll start it, Jake, I see you typing. Hold on.
I'll stop.
I will do the first letter. It will be we'll do C.
Next.
Yeah, who wants to go next?
Let's go
I'll
down
go
the
next.
lounge order.
C A.
I guess I'm next. Then,
What if this isn't even like a word we spell? What if it just keeps going? CAP X. It's a,
Capex Theta.
we got Capex Theta. How do you pronounce that? The theta symbol in Greek.
It is a
kind of
TH.
an Yeah. Oh. yeah.
Capex. Okay. Should we keep going?
Yeah, no, it'll start with me and go backwards.
Oh,
is this
okay.
like an abbreviation name or?
Wumbo. That's
That is an
Omega.
O.
Oh, Omega.
Capletho.
O.
This is Capex
Capletho.
Tho.
Capletho.
Alright, Jake. P.
Capletho.
PP.
CAPX Theta Omega EPO.
Thanks, bud.
Capex Thwepa.
This is not.
Welcome to Tavern Capex Thwipak.
Let's put this into Google Translate.
Here, like, CAPX.
Copy and paste it into Google. See what it suggests.
Is that a? We need a
That's the
lowercase
name.
theta.
Also,
Did you mean?
are we ending at 9? By the way, or like 9:30?
What
'Cause
time do
I
people
haven't
want
had
to
dinner.
finish?
9 be Pog.
9?
I haven't eaten yet, so
Okay.
like
I mean, we could always take a break and come back, but I know Liz wants to be done by 10:30, I believe.
10 max.
10 max? Okay. It's all up to you
Only
guys.
be-
If Darian wanted to go grab something to eat, we could take a quick break and come back.
Going getting something to eat for Darian would be at least half an hour, I think.
yeah.
Okay.
Call it after the tavern.
Yeah, we can call it at the tavern.
Unless
After the chat,
you're
okay,
the DM, is there a better place to stop, or is that as
Um,
resounding of a good place to pause as we will get for now?
You guys have gotten through starting the adventure and what the dead see. And up next you kind of have a chapter called Into the Wilds. And that's where you're going to start traveling. So I mean, we're pretty much halfway through. If you guys wanted to stop here, we could. And just finish off at the tavern for tonight.
Yeah, let's finish
can
off
go to
at the
sleep.
tavern and like the long rest, and then we can pick up from there later.
All right.
Can I
Sounds
sing
good.
my song at the tavern though? I made a song. I want to sing it.
So you all meet out front of Capex Thwipop.
I don't know about you guys, but I had a good time at my temple.
Marin
I
is
got
just
lovingly
glowing.
struck by lightning.
Nice.
I just kind of sigh. I'm just happy.
I've been jamming out with the people here. It's been great.
Nice. Turns out I'm a champion of the medicine god. So that's
Sweet.
fun.
Pretty cool.
That's exciting for you.
Yeah.
Welcome
be
to the
a-
team.
Don't know what that's gonna be about, but because apparently she likes to do riddles, so I don't really know what's going on with that or what she wants, but
I
guess
love
we'll see.
riddles and puzzles.
huh.
I love puzzles. Do it, guys. Say we're heading inside. Do it.
All right,
Do
we're
it.
heading inside.
Do
We're
it.
heading in.
Yeah. As you head
Does this
inside,
say-
it's bustling. Inside
It's
Tavern
bumping.
Quapix Thwipwop. I don't know what a Greek tavern would look like. Anyone? Guys, let's create this space together. What do we want to be here?
It looks kind of like a
Stage.
toga frat party.
I need a place to play.
A place to play. Oh, it just so happens that there's a stage you can see, kind of. An elevated platform over near one side.
Yes.
But wait, what if it's like in the middle of the place? And you have to like be in the middle?
My chat says ask the Olive Garden.
Olive Garden? Yeah. Tavern Quepix Threepop is
When you're
Theros
here.
is Olive Garden.
there you go.
Alright, anyone got some olives?
Oh yeah.
Hell
Unlimited
yeah.
olives. Capix Thwepa.
Wait, do you have Goodberry as a ranger? Wait, not yet.
I
You're
don't
at
have
level 2.
spells yet.
Yeah. Alright, so you guys are kind of coming in. The Tavern Keep, you can see, seems to be a large minotaur kind of running the bar. Not wearing anything that would relate him to any god at all, just kind of his regular clothes on, kind of like a brown overalls on. And he kind of ushers over to you as he's like cleaning off a glass. He goes, "Hey, welcome."
I
Hi.
say, hey, how
There-
much for your cheapest, strongest drink?
Cheapest, strongest. He kind of turns around. He's like looking around. He's like, that'll probably be 1 silver for right now. And he's like, you want one? And he starts like already going for it, making it.
Oh,
Oh what?
Oh,
Oh.
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 He asked you
Oh.
a question.
Bard, you have to
Me?
finish your sentences.
Give me your strongest, cheapest ale. And he's like, yeah, right, I'm on it. And you're like, oh.
Oh,
All right, he finishes off.
Hell yeah.
He finishes off your drink and he kind of slides it over to you. He's like, that's 1 silver. Need another?
Pass him a silver. And I take that. I'm like, no thanks.
All right.
Just this one.
He kind of
Uh,
looks. He kind of like glances over at you a couple times and he notices the instruments. He goes, so you going up on that stage? I could use a little entertainment.
Hell yeah. I'll head up there right now.
Good
All right.
stuff.
I got a song to sing for you all.
All right, while
Yeah.
she's getting up there to sing, what would everyone else like to do?
I'm gonna
Um,
pay for a room for the night, and then I'm gonna sit down to watch.
You
I'm gonna get some milk.
you guys are easily able to procure rooms from the Minotaur. He hands you a few keys. You're
How
getting
much
some
money
milk.
is-
Yep.
You can pay in the morning. It'll be I'll let you guys know next time we play. I'll have to look through the
Okay.
is it the player's handbook that has like lifestyles?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
modest?
It's okay, you know? We live in a society.
You live in a society.
Modest would be 1 gold.
Let me see. Food, drink, and lodging. In stay per day. This would be modest, so it's 5 SP. Comfortable,
Oh, is it?
8 SP. Do you guys want this to be a modest or comfortable place?
That is different than the lifestyle options that D&D Beyond has listed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wealthy is 2 gold per in-stay.
The stuff on D&D Beyond might be from Xanathar's guide because I know that changed it a
Oh.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, we're world building this tavern together.
Yeah.
Do the 5 silver. I
It's
think that
modest
sounds-
It's modest.
for now, but you guys are gonna bring so much fame to this place. It's gonna be bumping.
Here we go.
All right, hit us with it.
Had a dream, not at all a dream. The sun was gone and the gods were gone. Did wander Duckland in the eternal space.
People are rocking out
Rayless
like, did she just say
Cactus,
guns?
Wild earth. Swung blind in the blackening, in the moonless air. Morn came and went and came and brought no day. This one goes out to my friend in a cave.
I I kind of
No.
grab Marin's shoulder and shake her. That's me. I'm the friend in the cave.
You're the friend
I'm
of the
the
cave.
cave friend.
I hope you all know I found a poem about darkness and made it into a song that works.
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab. I have my piano right next to me as well, as does Caleb.
Oh, me
Okay.
too.
Mine's not
Here
plugged
we
in
go.
actually.
Just
I'll
make the
send you
sound
guys
with your
the
mouth.
lyrics.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Wait, alright, here I go.
I don't have my fingers on the piano.
Had a dream, not at all a dream. The sun was gone and the gods were gone. Did walk the darkened in the eternal space. Wayless, pathless, wild earth. Swung blind in blackness.
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming to the stream. I think we'll end tonight's session there.
That was a great send off.
Goodbye, stream. Bye.
Goodbye. Thanks everyone who tuned in.